Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, The Stone Mandalorian. My name is Cody, aka The Stone Mandalorian, The Stone Mando, or Stone, whatever you want to call me. And today I thought the thumbnail was just kind of like a little fun banter, but these are my tips to Hasbro on how to save the Black Series. A lot of people will say that the line is dying, is not doing well, but yet we're getting great character selection and getting major improvements in sculpt. We're getting redos and reissues on figures that were released earlier days when the line's about 6+ years ago. So I would say the line is doing pretty damn good in my opinion. But the one thing that I have pulled up here that I wanted to start off with is to hashtag bring back thigh swivel. One thing that always gets me is like these are action figures for a reason. There should be able to be dynamically posed and be able to lunge and bend and do what an action figure is meant to do. So why would you take away articulation? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But I feel like that's definitely something that needs to be a mainstay in the Black Series, with the exception of maybe certain figures. With the and I mean exception very heavily, like Darth Malgus, for example. The way that his it was done, like, but his hip range is a little bit better than most figures. The way that dumbbell ball joint socket works, his thigh swivel was not as bad as some. But that being said, I would still prefer to have thigh swivel on all figures. Um, the next thing that I wanted to bring up, sorry if I say a lot, I need to probably work on that a little bit. The next thing, and then I just did it again. Ball jointed wrists, and I think that this is something that should be put on every figure going forward. Why waste with the time? And I get they probably already have like a bunch of sculpts of horizontal and vertical hinges, but just do away with it, retire it. You've made your money off those molds. Those you can only use a mold so many times before it starts to wear and tear. Just make all future figures ball jointed wrists. It'll save you. Make it all universal on all figures in the Black Series. It's just being able to have that motion. All your wrist does this for a reason. So why would you not have the articulation for it? Ball jointed wrist, I feel like, is something that's very underrated, kind of like thigh swivel. It's something that you don't realize how good it is until you have it. But then when it's taken away, you're like, oh shit. I kind of you realize how much you really like. Going back to thigh swivel real quick, it's literally a line. The amount of staticness that you can leave behind with thigh swivel is just it's really a necessity, man. Even something like boot swivel, but and that may seem redundant to some people. Why would you want boot swivel and thigh swivel? There is a little bit of a difference. When just for humor me for a minute, humor yourself. Take your leg out and move it, like twist it side to side, like move your leg. You're gonna see how it comes from your hip. So thigh swivel is just it's a naturally human. It's a natural human movement, you know. But all right, I'm getting a little off track here. So ball jointed wrist was my second thing. It should be universal. Have it for all Black Series figures going forward. It's just the way to go. You get the all the range out of a wrist naturally that you should. And next that I had put down is alt hands and heads. So just going back to what I was saying with the ball jointed wrist, if we could get like force gestures, open hand gestures, pointing fingers, fist hands, just get pack a little more accessories in it, even if it means jacking up the price a couple of dollars. Some collectors will be willing to do that. The thing with the Black Series is most, not all, most Black Series figure collectors that I see are really cheap and stingy when it comes to the price, and they kind of have a hard time paying $25, even $33.99 for deluxe figures. And I just don't know if that would be the move for some Black Series collectors. For and then there's some out there, myself included, that would be willing to pay a couple extra dollars to get those extra accessories and features and stuff like that. But alt hands and then going on to alt hands and heads, I don't mind the removable helmets. Don't get me wrong, but I do feel that it would be better aesthetically. Sorry for the stop motion photography people, but it would be better aesthetically to have a separate alternate helmeted head and then an unhelmeted version. Like have them as two separate heads, kind of like TVC, which I think some TVC have removable helmet. I'm not super educated on TVC, but having alternate heads and helmeted heads would just be make a huge deal. And then just kind of rolling in off of the alternate hands and heads. I'm just going to roll this into the next one, and that would be make two separate sculpts. And TVC does this. Make two separate sculpts for ignited and unignited sabers. So like have a sculpt for just the hilt, and then have another sculpt that's entirely one sculpt, not this plug-in bullshit that breaks apart or if it falls a couple times and it's or one time for some people and it's done. Make it all one solid piece and paint the hilt. You know, it's just TVC does it. We did get it in the Black Series with that Luke and Grogu build-up pack, and I feel like it works very well. It makes the saber much more sturdy, and I just feel like it would be the way to go. Again, with that extra plastic, that extra little bit of sculpting and molding that they're having to make for each figure, would that drive cost up that much? I'm not the guy to answer that. I'm not supposed to do marketing and accounting for Hasbro, but I feel like it can be done, and some collectors might be willing to pay it, and some might not be. Moving on next, I would like to see something else. My top two wants in the Black Series are alternate hands and heads and blast accessories. Those are the three, maybe so I should say three things. Those are the three things that I would like to throw the Jeff Hardy real quick. Those are the three things that I would like to see as far as accessory wise go. I just feel like that blast accessory that we got with the Super Battle Droid last year, 2024, it just adds a lot of variety to your shelf and to each figure itself, and gives it a lot of flair and attitude, man. It can change the entire vibe having that blast effect. And something that I did not know is you can actually that blasted the long laser one that comes on the Super Battle Droid, you can actually take it apart and have two separate variations. So if you think about it, you can get three variations. You can have one battle droid not firing, one firing with the long beam, and then one with the short beam. So that's kind of interesting. I did not know that until just a couple of weeks ago. I forgot where I found that out. So those kind of tie in together. Something else that I would like to see is more aliens. Let's get more background Glup Shido, Cantina, and Jabba Dennison's aliens. Let's get more prequel aliens. Obscure Ton Wheat, Kaminoans, Geonosians. There's so many. I'm kind of blanking right now, throwing some out there. There's so many, man. Let's get as far as OT. Let's get a Reese, a Soloshin. Let's get Lax Sevrak, man. There's so many that can be done, you know, and I think it would be just really rad. And I think there are a lot of collectors out there who are waiting for these more glup shido characters and prequel alien. We need that's what some of the epitome of Star Wars is the species and the aliens. So we need to. I would like to see Hasbro start getting into that the next couple of years, and especially as far as the OT goes, the OT needs a little bit of love. Now we do have some good representation, but a lot of the representation needs updates. It needs new molds, new sculpts, and I just like I said, I just feel like it would be awesome to see more aliens in the line. Rolling into the next subject here, I would like them to dedicate more money to new sculpts that aren't just new media. So like, and something that's unfortunate here is the new Anakin Skywalker that came out, the Clone Wars Ahsoka version. They gave us those old 2013 original Anakin Skywalker legs, the orange line, and then also the archive line as well. And then on the Target exclusive release, we got those same exact legs. So it's just they're pinned and they're just it's just sad, man, because this is a new media figure. It's from Ahsoka. This is Disney new media, but then y'all couldn't even put the budget into sculpting him new legs. The main character of I'm trying not to cuss here, but actually, you don't know. Fuck it. The main character of fucking Star Wars, Anakin fucking Skywalker. The reason that the story is based on the Skywalker trilogy, it just it's kind of wild to me. And it's like I said, it's Ahsoka. It's Disney new media. Why did Anakin Skywalker not get a totally banging budget for a new sculpt head to toe? Now I will say one thing: the Hayden likeness, that head sculpt is awesome. I'm getting a little off track here, but no, I'm still no, let me cook for a minute because I'm still kind of on the same track. So dedicating more money to new sculpts that aren't just new media, going on to the Anakin thing, which is a weird out of the norm thing. But like, look at the Acolyte figures, fantastic figures, a lot of paint, really good sculpting, and extra like really good articulation. The Skeleton Crew figures also came with they all were loaded down with accessories, all covered in paint. The figures themselves look fantastic. I only have Brutus right now. I'd like to pick up Nia, maybe the others as well eventually. But Brutus, he was number 6 in my top 10 of 2024. Fantastic. He's my desk figure right here. He's absolutely fantastic figure, man. I love this figure, and the show was fun. But I would just like going back to what I was saying earlier about getting some more aliens, Jabba's denizens, Cantina aliens, prequel aliens. Dedicate some money and extra budget to, like, dude, Momonet Dawn. I actually won this. This is my second one. I needed a desk figure Momonet Dawn, and I won this from my buddy Jacobs. Go check out his channel, Star Wars Collective. I won this from his giveaway. He was giving away a Darth Maul, the brand new Phantom Menace, and this. And I needed another. I needed another one for I needed a desk Momonet Dawn, man. And I love this figure so much. It's OT. It's got a wash on it. Brand new sculpting head to toe. There is some, not maybe not there. It is brand new sculpting, but there is some reuse. I forget exactly where from Doc Honor, but it's very little. It's a lot more new than what people give it credit for. This is a fantastic looking figure. But, uh, anyways, just, man, dedicate some more time and budget to these new sculpts when y'all start doing these aliens and stuff like that. Now we do have Sebulba, Shakti, and Luminara coming, and they look fantastic. They look phenomenal, and I'm excited to see. In the promo pics, they look good. I'm excited to see how the soft goods end up being in hand on Shakti and Luminara. But we'll just have to see. And the next thing that I want to touch on, then I have like a little honorable mention, and this is kind of, I could probably even go more in depth with it, but I'm just going to kind of keep it as like a somewhat quick video, is don't rush figures out just to make it in time for a show. Take your time with the figure and make it accurate. A perfect example of this is Balin and Shin. Those figures were rushed out, I felt like, just to be in time for Ahsoka, and it suffered from it, and then they did that scummy thing where a month later, after they released the initial single release version, they did uh, another I think it was a Target exclusive release with the robes. So it was just the same as that figure, but it could, now you can, if you buy it again, you get the robe with it. So it was just kind of a scummy move, a little bit slimy on Hasbro's part, but they're also very inaccurate sizes. Balin is slightly shorter, and Shin is arguably slightly or way too tall. She needs to be much shorter, and they just missed the ball with those figures, man. I'm not impressed with the likeness on Shin Hati. I forget the actress who plays her. She did. Balin and Shin were arguably some of the coolest and most interesting parts of the Ahsoka season 1, and it's really unfortunate of Ray Stevenson's passing, but we don't, because he did such a great job with that character. He really captivated a lot of us Star Wars fans. So it's unfortunate to not see him be able to fulfill that role and let him fill out the rest of Balin's destiny. But it's going to be, I forget the Lord of the Rings guy. Supposedly he was close friends with Ray Stevenson. So the fact that he's getting to kind of fill in for that role for him and kind of help prolong and like preserve his friend's legacy, you could say, is really cool and honorable, man. But just going back to what I was saying, don't rush figures out just to get it in hands or on the shelf at a time of a show. Just even if it means a year later after the show's already aired, just get it, make it accurate. I don't care if it takes a year later after the show's already aired, and then you give it to me and it's right, I'm gonna buy it. But if I have Balin, but I got him for $10 on that insane Walmart sale that was going on last year of 2024. But I still don't have Shin. And the only, if he wasn't $10, I probably wouldn't have picked him up. Now, granted, I like Balin. He's a cool looking figure. He's fun to pose with. I enjoyed the character, but definitely letdowns on Hasbro. And then just the whole robe thing, just very scummy. I'm not going to get back into the details of that. But those are pretty much my main topics that I wanted to cover, and just kind of throughout 2024, a lot of content creators and collectors were kind of going through and saying, giving their opinions and input on what would make the Black Series better, or things that Hasbro should initiate or incorporate to make the Black Series just hold its weight and hold water. But the line is super healthy. I think it's in a really, really great position right now, dude. We're, like I said earlier in the review, Shakti, Luminara, and Sebulba. I've been collecting for about 2.5 years now. If you had told me that 2.5 years ago, I would have been like, nah, it probably won't happen. I wasn't even all into that. I'm sure people that have been collecting the line since 2013, 2014, 15, the beginning of the line, are just like, man, what a long time to wait for these essential characters. The last thing that I wanted to touch on too is kind of like a more of like a wish thing. Now, I am a prequel baby, but I love the OT. OT has my heart. You know, that's what I grew up on. But I grew up around the time of the prequels. So, like, the prequel was my time, but I grew up on the OT too. I have that very equal. It's hard to put one over the other. But ultimately, I also really love Clone Wars. I know some people are iffy about it. They didn't grow up with it or don't care for it. The Clone Wars is awesome. I really, really love the Clone. I love pretty much everything. I gotta admit, I'm a show for anything animation Star Wars. I'm man, Dave Filoni, and I don't mean to be an ass kisser, man, but Dave Filoni, as far as Star Wars animation goes, he's the guy. As far as I'm concerned, he is the guy. There's some questionable things that he's done along the way, but overall, man, for somebody like him who's worked so closely with George, I just feel like he's got the credentials, and like his storytelling is just, I think it spoke for itself in my opinion. The last thing I wanted to touch on is I would like to see, this is more like I said, a wish, is do all the Jedis, every prequel Clone Wars era Jedi, give them their Clone Wars gauntlets and Clone Wars armor. Y'all are doing Mace Windu. We have Anakin and Obi-Wan, of course. Now we have a prequel Yoda with that Gree 2-pack, that hostage 2-pack, the Gree 41st Grunt, you know, most of us hardcore collectors, fans. But it would be cool to get like C10, just like all the other Agen Kolar. It would just, let's see some more prequel Jedi, theatrical or Clone Wars. I don't care. Let's start getting the Jedi in, the aliens in, and the OT, the prequels. I think 2025 is going to be a really good year. It's the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. I think it's going to be a really awesome year for the Black Series and for Hasbro, for collectors, Star Wars fans in general, man. But that is pretty much all I wanted to cover. Those are just some of the things that I would like Hasbro to do that I think would save the line, so to speak. But I do appreciate you all taking a few minutes to hang out with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you did enjoy it, hit that like button. I'd very much appreciate it. Also consider subscribing if you're not already. I do a lot of Star Wars content, but I post other stuff like TMNT, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Marvel Legends, NECA, whatever, man. Whatever I'm passionate about and into that I want to share my thoughts and opinions on with y'all, and maybe help empty your wallet a little bit as well, as I like to say on the channel here. But I hope you're all having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Thanks again for watching. May the Force be with you.